Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're unpacking something absolutely massive. We are looking at a highly ambitious blueprint that's, quite frankly, completely reshaping how we think about international collaboration and green skills. We're talking about the foundational architecture of the AgriMocks e-internship. Now, right off the bat, you need to know this isn't just your standard online course. It's a fully digital virtual exchange program, meticulously designed to connect some of the brightest young minds across continents. The real genius of AgriMocks, it's all in this rigorous 6-week design, a blueprint that perfectly balances complex business strategy with genuine human connection. In this explainer, we're going to explore exactly how this engine runs behind the scenes, how they manage to prevent those common pitfalls of online learning, and how they actually translate these big, lofty ideas into actionable skills. So let's just get right into the sheer scale of what we're dealing with here. Because, wow, this program operates on a massive scale. Over its current cycle, the AgriMocks initiative is built to serve exactly 2,500 future leaders across Europe and Africa. I mean, just think for a second about the logistical headache of aligning that many schedules, cultures, and learning paces into a single, cohesive digital environment. But, this number isn't just some vanity metric they slap on a brochure. It's a carefully calculated cohort size. They need exactly this many people to create enough diversity of thought to spark real, tangible innovation, also keeping the whole operation manageable.
Okay, let's dive into this breakdown because who these participants actually are is just as important as how many there are. Out of that grand total, 1,500 participants are higher education students. These are young adults who are actively studying right now, and they're looking to bridge that tricky gap between academic theory and real-world employability, specifically in the agricultural and rural development sectors. For them, this whole experience is about gaining practical resume-building skills that prove, hey, I can successfully operate in an international digital-first business environment.
And seamlessly complementing those students, we have the remaining 1,000 participants. These folks are youth workers, non-formal educational leaders, and NGO facilitators. And honestly, this is a brilliant strategic layer. By integrating these youth workers into the exact same ecosystem as the students, the program isn't just teaching skills to individuals, it's actively training the trainers. It practically guarantees that the methodologies and the entrepreneurial mindsets they build here are going to ripple out way beyond the digital walls of the program, landing directly into local, rural communities on both continents.
All of this incredible scale serves one very profound ultimate vision, as the program's founding documents state, and I quote, "Intercultural understanding, exchange of standing points, and connectedness becomes of primary importance." So the overarching goal here goes way beyond just teaching people how to run a business. The true north of the AgriMocks blueprint is deep, meaningful intercultural exchange. It's about acknowledging that if we want to solve global food security and drive sustainable transitions in rural development, we absolutely need young people from vastly different backgrounds sitting at the exact same virtual table, learning to actually trust each other and making unified decisions together.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly how they guarantee that intercultural exchange actually happens. The program enforces a super strict demographic ratio, 60% African participants and 40% European participants. That is definitely not an accident. By locking in this specific ratio, the program intentionally decenters any single dominant cultural narrative. It completely levels the playing field. Everyone has to actively listen, they have to negotiate, and they have to blend their distinct regional perspectives on things like climate change, agriculture, and market dynamics if they want their shared projects to succeed. Section 1. The Flipped Classroom Model, Preventing Mentor Burnout. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it solves a massive problem. How do you sustain an intercultural operation of this size without completely burning out the volunteer facilitators and mentors? The secret is a very strict division of labor. You see, in a lot of massive online programs, mentors just drown in administrative tasks. But this model, it flips that dynamic entirely. All the foundational knowledge, the business models, the civic advocacy concepts, is handled through asynchronous theory. That means self-paced, automated digital modules that participants just knock out on their own time. Then, when it's time for the synchronous live application, when teams actually meet live with their mentors, they aren't sitting there listening to a lecture. No way. They're making active, real-time business decisions based on the theory they've already absorbed. This exact separation completely insulates those mentors from administrative burnout, so they can focus 100% on actually coaching their teams.
Section 2. The curriculum, one equal component.
So what exactly are they doing during these 6 weeks? Well, it's easy to look at a program that uses a digital business environment and assume, oh, the simulation is the whole thing.
But no. So the crucial point is that the virtual office simulation functions as just one beautifully balanced piece of a much larger puzzle. It takes up the equivalent of 3 weeks. But look at the rest of this pie chart. You've got a solid week dedicated entirely to civic participation and advocacy training, another full week focused purely on developing small community group projects, and a final week's worth of time for targeted electives, like youth entrepreneurship. The simulation is the testing ground, sure, but the civic and community project development, that's the anchor keeping those business skills firmly rooted in real-world social impact.
Section 3. The Blueprint. Week 1 and Week 3 milestones. Let's move to and see how this builds in practice.
To really grasp the pedagogy here, we have to look at the timeline. Week 1 is notoriously the most fragile time in any virtual exchange, right? If you just drop strangers from different continents into a video call without a solid plan, you're going to get those dreaded breakout room tumbleweeds, just awkward silences and instant disengagement. The AgriMocks blueprint dodges this entirely by focusing strictly on digital and communication foundations. Day 1 is pure automated onboarding. By day 3, teams are aligning on basic structures, and by day 7, they are running cross-border testing of their communication channels. Long before they ever debate a single business strategy, they learn how to simply talk to one another. And the tangible outputs for this first week reflect that. They're highly operational. We're talking about basic login verification, completing initial personality tests so they understand their team dynamics, and critically, setting up their own external messaging channels, like a dedicated WhatsApp group. By making these simple, manageable steps the actual deliverables for week 1, the program eliminates all those technical hurdles and language barrier anxieties right out of the gate. This ensures they carry continuous, confident momentum straight into the core activities.
Which brings us smoothly right into week 3. The foundation is set, the teams are actively talking, and everyone actually understands their virtual company's interface. So week 3 represents a huge pivot from operational setup into active, high-stakes strategic execution. Around day 15, teams are deep into collaborative brainstorming. By day 18, they've got to synthesize those wild ideas into a drafted strategy. And that leads right up to day 21, where they execute their second major live simulation sprint under real ticking clock time constraints. The specific outputs here are so cool because you see ideas translating into concrete action. In week 3, participants have to draft their first strategy document. They're actively brainstorming inclusive business models, asking the hard questions like, what community issues can our virtual business actually amplify or solve? And who are our key audiences? Then, they take all those lofty, noble goals and run them straight through the round 2 simulation sprint. This is where they test if their social entrepreneurship ideas can actually survive the financial pressures of a digital market. It is literally theory meeting practice in real time.
Of course, it's really important to note the structural backing that makes a massive initiative like this even possible. The AgriMocks e-internship operates as an Erasmus Plus virtual exchange program. It's co-funded by the European Union and is formally coordinated by the University of Applied Sciences Weidensteffen-Treisdorf, or HSWT, working in close collaboration with a huge network of international partner universities and NGOs.
So when you step back and look at this entire 6-week blueprint, from that strict demographic balancing to the burnout-proof flipped classroom, all the way to the equal weighting of civic participation and digital business, you're looking at a machine designed to do so much more than just teach. It is built to connect. By placing 2,500 young minds into this incredible structured crucible, the program leaves us with a vital question to ponder. How will this level of deep intracultural exchange ultimately reshape the future of sustainable global agriculture? It's a truly fascinating model, and one that absolutely leaves us eager to see what these future leaders are going to build next. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and as always, keep learning.